Happy Monday, everybody. Let's talk about every game happened on Sunday. We have 8 games, and I know a lot of leagues are approaching finals, already in the finals, or maybe it's already over. We have 3 weeks of regular season left, so I think every stream matters at this point. The first game is the New Orleans Pelicans lost to Detroit. At this game, I believe Kate Cunningham was a late scratch. So that's just what happens in fantasy. Like if you're in a close matchup, let's say if you lost by 5 points or something, and Kate Cunningham was a late scratch, it is what it is. Um, it's part of the game, and yeah, it's unfortunate. I think it's literally minutes before the game. He was ruled out. So unfortunate, but I think he's probably going to be back next game. So Danny Shooter could be a good stream. For the Pelicans, they're still playing CJ McCollum, who dropped 40 points. Hit 5 threes, that's good. I mean, they're still playing him. They have nothing to play for. Jose Alvarado, I think, is a need to be rostered. A must roster probably. 8 assists, 2 steals, and 10 points. CJ is probably going to miss, a few games in the next few weeks. They're going to start Jose Alvarado. He's not going to do this every game, but assists and steals are very solid. Jordan Hawkins, we could also stream him for some points and threes. Especially more and more people are going to be out. And Kelly Olynyk is also somebody we should pay attention. Where is Zion? We don't know. If he starts playing 25 to 30 minutes, he's also really good. 8 assists and 2 blocks, and 5 rebounds. He just put up similar numbers on every team. He can pass a little bit, set screens, get those defensive stats, right? Hit some threes. Bruce Brown got the starts, a little bit disappointing, just 12 points and not much else. But he's also another guy that we could stream in the next week. Let's see, how good their schedules are. The Pelicans, if they have a back-to-back, all these guys, right? We got to stream in. And Robertson Earl, out of nowhere, played 32 minutes. I really wouldn't trust it. Even when he played 30, he doesn't really contribute that much. For Detroit, Oscar Thompson, unfortunate, only played 9 minutes because he had 4 fouls. That's what happens when you have sometimes super aggressive defenders. They just have foul trouble. Jerry Jackson Jr. for the longest time had that issue. Right, so many games he just played 20 minutes, 15 minutes, because he had 2 fouls in the first 5 minutes. That's something he has to learn, but if you need defensive stats, I think All-Star could still be a good option. Tobias Harris, 14 points and no threes. Pretty mediocre game considering that Kate Cunningham was out. Jalen Duren, 22 and 12. Yeah, nobody really benefited that much except, I guess, Ronald Holland II. He came off the bench, played 36 minutes, missed a bunch of free throws. I don't really expect this to continue, but him and Sasser could also be streamed if Kate Cunningham continues to be out. And obviously, Danny Schroeder is the obvious choice, who had 5 assists, 2 steals, and 16 points. An okay game. And Malik Beasley only had 13 points as well. So overall, Pelicans, consider, Detroit scored 136 points, right? The starters didn't really get that piece of a pie. It's the bench players. Moving on to the next one, the Cavaliers beat the Utah Jazz. Yeah, no surprise there, 120-91. Yeah, just another easy work. Donovan Mitchell has not been, and part of it is, Jazz has been really good, so they don't need him to play in the fourth. But he has not been good. I think we checked his stat. Last month, he was ranked outside of, 100 ranked player. If that's your first round player or second round player, right? Obviously you're not happy about it, but that's what happens when your team is so good. I think he's also out a couple games, and this Cavs team, they got so many people. Garland had an okay game. Allen and Mobley, both. Mobley had 3 blocks in his 21 minutes, but the minutes is extremely low. And for the Jazz, this is also, tanking season. I mean, it's been tanking season for them the last 2-3 months. Where's Lauren Markkinen? We don't know. Walker Kessler, that's good. At least he's playing. Right, horrible game here, 3 for 12. He just took 8 threes. Why is that? He took 8 threes. 13, I mean, they're just experimenting different things now. They're definitely not trying to win. 13 rebounds and 3 blocks is good, but he was a minus 40. Isaiah Collier had a decent game, actually, everything considered. 6 assists, 2 steals with 5 turnovers and 7 rebounds. If he assists and steals, right, he could be the guy. Keontae George also 1 for 7, but we could also have him for points, assists, and threes. Colin Sexton also playing. Yeah, it's Jordan Clarkson played 22 minutes. You just don't know how many minutes this guy's gonna play on a day-to-day basis. Other than maybe Keontae George, who has pretty consistent minutes. Isaiah Collier, right? He's gonna get around 28. But Colin Sexton and Jordan Clarkson, if they're playing well that day, they might get a few extra minutes. But if not, right, they just get 20 minutes. It's really, what are you gonna do? But Filipowski is another guy that we should pay attention to. If you need rebound, assists, and points, he can put up numbers. He did that in 30 minutes and versus the Cavaliers team too. He hit 4 threes. So that's pretty impressive. Moving on to the next game, this is also tanking season for Philadelphia Sixers. 119, 132. They kept it close. But there's so many guys. Okay, Quentin Grimes, legit top 20, 30 player in the last 2-3 weeks. If you picked him up, amazing, right? He's basically like, I'm trying to think of a comparison, right? He's basically averaging around 25 points in the last 2 weeks. Let's see, Quentin Grimes. 21st ranked player in the last 2 weeks. Oh my God, he's averaging what? 31 points? Is that even right? He played 7 games. I take that back. He's averaging 31 points and 50% shooting. It is unbelievable. And 2.3 steals. If you stream Quentin Grimes or picked him up, he is basically, if you look at the points, threes, if you look at the counting numbers, he's struggling from the free throw line, 73%. If he pounding free throws, he's a legit top 10 player. Maybe even better. 31 points? That is insane. Luka is only averaging 31 points in the last 2 weeks. And he's averaging 4 threes as well, 5.6 threes. Unbelievable. That's what happens during seasons like this. You pick up a player like Quentin Grimes and just helps you win the league. That's just what happens. Every year there are player like this. But yeah, absolutely must roster. Obviously, Justin Edwards, same thing. He's been playing really, really well as well. 22 points, 3 threes, and 2 blocks, right? The rebound and assists maybe not that much, but scoring, threes, maybe some defensive stats, right? And he's playing huge minutes. You look at it, 39 minutes. Jeff Dalton Jr. played 26 minutes. He also put up a pretty good line, right? 3 steals and 2 blocks. We could also look at him to possibly stream. And Yabu Saleh, if there's a back-to-back, you need some rebounds, some points, some threes, maybe, and defensive stats. You could look at him. But they don't have any centers. They don't have any other centers, at least last night. Moving forward, who knows? Maybe they play Andre Drummond. And Okiki is another guy that we could definitely stream for some rebound and some defensive stats. These guys are all getting huge minutes, and they could be legit top. Well, Quentin Grimes could be a top 10 player if he hit his free throws. But the other guys, yeah, top 20, no problem. For the Atlanta Hawks, Trae Young, 28 points, 12 assists, really good game, 10 for 11 from the line. Okungwu also has just been absolutely killing it. Top 10 player in the last month, I think. 14 points, 2 steals and a block, just super solid. Only took 7 shots, had 5 fouls. Otherwise, right, he's been he's been balling actually, not just good in fantasy. And Dyson Daniels, of course, chipped in 5 steals. That's great. And Ricochet had 22 points and a block with 3 threes. That's pretty good, but only 26 minutes. Look, you could stream him for points and threes. That's about it. And Georges Niang has been on the tier. Coming off the bench, played just 24 minutes and 20 points and 5 threes. If you need points and threes, and they got a back-to-back, I think the Atlanta Hawks just had a back-to-back, but you could definitely stream him. Yeah, another great win for the Hawks. Move on to the next game. We have the Charlotte Hornets. Lost to Miami 105-122. This game wasn't really a context, and LaMelo still played. That's good. 6 for 19, just horrible efficiency with 5 turnovers, but at least he's playing. 11 assists and 18 points. And Miles Bridges, every season he just finds a way to play 35 minutes all the way till the end of the season, even though they're tanking. 13 rebounds is great. 17 points is okay with 4 assists. Mark Williams, every game you get out of him, you should be happy. 6 for 7, 3 blocks, 14 points is good enough. And they started Nick Smith Jr. But, all these guys on the Charlotte Hornets, they don't, you gave KJ Simpson 30 minutes, right? Like, they're not really doing much. So, and Yusuf Nurkic came off the bench, had, played 15 minutes, right? I mean, the only guy maybe I would consider stream is like Nurkic if Mark Williams is out. Some of the other guys, if there's a back-to-back, I might stream them for points and threes. But yeah, I'm not I'm not too high on any of these guys. For the Heat, Andrew Wiggins absolutely went off with 42 points. That's great. Since he got traded, I think at least his scoring average is pretty high up, with 5 assists, 2 steals, and a block, and hit 6 threes. Ridiculous game from him. And Tyler Hero also had 29 points and 3 steals. Well, that's what happens when you play Charlotte Hornets a lot of the times. David Mitchell had 7 assists and 2 steals. Yes, I've been saying for a while he needs to be, streamed at the very least for assists and steals. Even though he's coming off the bench, he's getting 35 minutes, right? Kel Ware, another game, played okay. 8 rebounds, 5 assists, and a block. But you roster, if you need rebounds and blocks and a little bit of everything, it's still okay to roster. But in playoffs, you have a situation where you need, let's say, you need to win steals and threes, right? Maybe you can get rid of him. But he provided multiple categories, so he's pretty solid. Ben Adebayo, oh my God, 2 steals is nice, but next year this is not the guy we want to draft in the 3rd round. Even though his rankings might look okay, he just has no upside on this team. He's just not improving. I don't see him improving next season. It's been like that for years. Yeah, we might want to draft some other young guys with a higher upside rather than going safe. The next one, this is also tanking season. So many teams are tanking. Spurs, well, they got the win, 120. They got the win, so that's good. They scored 123 points with the Raptors. But unfortunately, because of the blowout, all the guys have super low minutes. Stephon Castle is a must roster. 15 points, 1-3, got to the line 10 times, and a steal and a block. That's pretty good. Devin Vassell has also been killing it. They're giving him huge minutes. 3 threes, 25 points, 2 steals and a block. And the rest of the Spurs guys, they're not just Chris Paul. In just 22 minutes, he still had 6 assists and 2 steals. If you need assists and steals and efficiency, Chris Paul is still going to give you that in his 25 minutes. But if you don't need assist, 100% get rid of him in the playoffs. But he could be very useful. Who knows? Next week, you could have a situation where he plays, 10 minutes. Sorry. He plays 25 minutes and give you 10 assists, Let's look at the Raptors. RJ, this is a tanking season. I'm surprised he still played 30 minutes, had 18 points, but if you need points, sure, you could stream him, but he's definitely not a must roster. And given how bad things are with the Toronto Raptors, and who knows, next game he just played 25 or even 20 minutes. Scotty put up a pretty good line, 22 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists with 2 steals and a block, but had 6 turnovers. Same thing with Scotty, right? Be ready to cut if next week, right, he misses a game. He's not, even though he's a 2nd or 3rd round player, he's not a guy that we have to hold because he's just not that good. And given how Raptors are tanking, who knows how many games he's gonna play. Which is why, like, you have players on this team, you really need to kind of just pay attention to, before the tip-off. You just don't know. And, be quick putting players in the IR or picking up new players. The rest of the Raptors, not much going on. Like Jamal Shead, maybe, if he continues to start. Grady Dick has been out. You could stream him for some assists, some threes, some steals, right? The typical guard stats. But yeah, I don't really trust any of these guys on the Raptors. First of all, they're tanking. Second of all, even when the starters play, they don't play huge minutes. So nobody really gets 35 minutes on this team. The next game, this is an easy win for the Celtics, 129-116. They put 129 points on the Blazers, which is quite impressive because the Blazers team, they are a decent defensive team. And Peyton Pritchard got the start. 16 points, 4 threes, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. Great. Peyton Pritchard, if you need points and threes, 100% some efficiency, sure. Celtics, right now, they're for sure going to rest a lot of their guys, starters, and Jaylen Brown has been out for a while. So Peyton Pritchard, usually with Jaylen out, he's going to get a few extra minutes. Derrick White had 4 threes, just very solid. And also Drew Holiday is out. Porzingis is out. So Al Horford had a steal and a block, 14 points, 2 3. It doesn't matter. This team, they just have so many good guys. Sam Hauser came in, hit 8 threes, just ridiculous. He hit 8 threes. Jason Tatum almost a triple double, right? When you're working with snipers like Sam Hauser or Peyton Pritchard, you just have a lot of, like, if you Jason Tatum, you just have so much room to operate. In my opinion, if you on the Celtics, all the starters are great shooters. Even at Horford, he's not a great shooter, but he spaced the floor, right? You don't want to leave him wide open all the time, right? Sometimes you have to give up the corner three, but for the Blazers, Fernie Simons, 15 points, 5 assists, and 3 threes is okay, while Scoot Henderson has just keep disappointing. 6 assists in 23 minutes. Looks like this year there's just no way for him to get. We're already at the end of the season, right? There's no way for him to get consistent 30 minutes. I think as long as Fernie Simons is there, it's going to be hard because maybe there's some trade need to happen next year if they have the same roster, right? I wouldn't really, like Fernie Simons. I'm also not too high on for next season because, right, these two guys they have overlap. They don't really like to play both of them together. Right, Shaedon Sharpe, meanwhile, had a great game with 23 points and 3 threes. Donovan, another disappointment, 20 minutes, just 1 rebound. I don't know what's going on. He had a lot of hype. But if you need rebound blocks, you could still have him, right? He's one of the better guys out there, but just disappointing game after disappointing game. Yeah. Kamara had 2 steals and 2 blocks. Look, yeah, if you need defensive stats, definitely still have him at threes. And Danny Advia also has been balling, 17 points and 11 rebounds with 4 assists. Move on to we got 2 more games left. This game was for sure is a surprise with no Jokic and Rockets. Sometimes this type of thing happens. Rockets were on a 9-game winning streak or whatever, and actually, they're all fighting for the 2nd seed, right? I think for Denver or for Lakers, it's a huge difference if you play OKC in the 2nd round or you play Denver or you play Rockets. So all those teams they are fighting really hard for that 2nd or 3rd seed. Even the Grizzlies, they're in it, right? They're not too far out with like 10 games. It's still mathematically possible. So all these teams they're trying really hard. But Jokic with the ankle injury, right? They're sitting him, so I don't know what's going on. Hopefully he comes back this week. But that's also, that's just fantasy. You have number 1 ranked player going to the finals or whatever. This is the finals, and this for sure is your playoffs. You don't have Jokic. How do you win? Unless you got lucky, the other guy also have a lot of injuries. And just, what are you gonna do? That's fantasy for you. So Jamal Murray popped off and just imagine your opponent has Jamal Murray, drop 39 points on you with 4 threes. Really good game for Jamal Murray. Aaron Gordon, I think with Jokic out, for sure, he's been scoring a lot. So he's a must roster with Jokic out. Michael Porter Jr. hit 1 3, 17 points. But DeAndre Jordan also, if Jokic is out, you need rebounds, you could stream this guy because he's going to play 30 plus minutes. That's only if you need rebound though. Even blocks, he's not going to give you that many blocks. Maybe there are better guys on the waiver wire. Like let's say if you only need blocks. But rebound, he's very, very good. If you need rebound and blocks, sure, you could also have him. He had 5 fouls in 38 minutes. For the Rockets, disappointing game. Jalen Green had a big one, but took 22 shots to get there. 30 points with 3 threes. Emperor Şengün, a triple-double. What a game. This is what we want to see more of, right? But again, his problem is his efficiency. 6 for 15, 5 for 8 from the free throw line. And 0 turnovers, so that's pretty impressive. And Fred VanVleet just played 42 minutes. 1 3, 5 assists. He's kind of cooked. Next year, this is not the guy we should be drafting inside that top 4, right? He just has no usage. And so many young guys on this team, they're really, really good. So I can see that. Amen Thompson, a steal and 3 blocks, 6 rebounds is okay. And Taro Eason, I think we could drop him. With everybody back, it's hard for him to. I mean, if there's a back-to-back, you could stream him, but yeah. Last game of the night, the Thunder beat the Clippers. This is a big, big loss for the Clippers. Actually, because the Thunder, they really have nothing to play for. I guess they want to secure the number 1 seed overall. But yeah, in the West, they are so ahead of everybody. There's nothing to play for. Shea, yeah, this is the problem with Shea. 7 for 29, right? Still got to the line 11 times, but in the playoffs, I understand you don't have Jalen Williams, but in the playoffs, you're not gonna get foul calls as much as easy, and you know, and the defenders can be more aggressive with you. It's just gonna be less room for Shea to operate, right? Because he does take a lot of tough shots at the mid range. So if he doesn't have it going, it's, you know, his 3-ball is not that great. So, you know, 8 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks is still good in fantasy, 11 for 11. The rest of the Thunder guys, they still shot the ball threes really decently. A couple guys, right? Aaron Wiggins came in, he can shoot the 3. Jalen Williams goes 3 for 3. Isaiah Joe did not have the best game, right? Kaysen Wallace is a guy that 3 and D. With Jalen Williams out, we could definitely continue to roster him. Isaiah Hartenstein had 10 rebounds, 2 steals, and 3 blocks. Yeah, he just had a bit of everything. That's good. Really good game from Isaiah Hartenstein. This game, Chet Holmgren is also out. So this is how, you know, the Thunder roster is just ridiculous. They have Jalen Williams, right? They still have like 20 other picks. In the offseason, maybe they can, if they don't win, right, they make a couple other moves. Yeah, they're going to be scary. They have so much capital still, so many draft picks. And to be honest, like when I look at the roster, like Kaysen Wallace is a rookie. And I don't know if they draft well or just, you know, the team has a good system. Like he's very solid. Is he a rookie or second year? He's very solid. He's playing 30 minutes, right? Does his job very well, 3 and D, right? Doesn't take any extra dribble unless he had to. And just playing defense and shoot threes. For the LA Clippers, Kawhi played 40 minutes. So you know this game is, they really trying to win. 25 points and 10 rebounds for Kawhi, assuming block. He's been really good, actually. Healthy and playing, so that's good. Norman Powell really struggled, had 4 personal fouls as well, had just 9 points. Zubac had 15 and 11 and 2 blocks. Another guy has just been super consistent all year, Ivica Zubac. Next year, probably the same thing, to be honest. He will have the same role unless the roster makes some big changes. They lost Paul George, so they're not going to go small all the time. So Zubac should have good minutes almost every game. And James Harden had 8 assists and 17 points. But, 6 turnovers and didn't shoot the ball well. That's it, guys. So I'll see you tomorrow.